Today, we ain't got no intro. I believe that everybody knows what to do to win this game, but if you don't, well, here's what we got this video. Barcelona versus Olympique de Lyon, match preview coming up. And one more thing before starting off this video, be sure to check out our friends at Golazo Jersey. Links are also going to be in the description down below. They're a very good place to get cheap, reliable, quality footballing kits, so go there and get yours. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. A very important video, needless to say, because today we are covering Barcelona versus Olympique de Lyon in the round of 16, second leg of the Champions League. Ooh, this is a game for us to show our true colors, a game to show our true energía. And if you know what energía means, leave it in the comment box down below. I believe that this is going to be a moment for us to really just take all doubters away, answer all the questions, and for us to become a team where I can just confidently say that we can go on there and win this competition, and by that manner win La Liga and win La Copa Rey with them as well. I just want to see a performance, a football style of our team going there in the Camp Nou, beating Lyon, and I can just go out and say I'm proud of being a Barcelona fan and I want this team to go all the way. But to get to that point, there are some certain works that we need to do. The very first thing is that we have to acknowledge that Barcelona have not been at their level in the past. We may have gotten the results, yes, we may have gotten a 3-1 victory against Rayo Vallecano, we may have beaten Sevilla 4-2, same with Real Madrid. And in this situation, I believe that this is because some of our players are taking the liver out of the foot as well, and that's accompanied by some rotations from Ernesto Valverde, some very strict rotations, you know, taking out Arthur in the middle of the park at halftime, bringing out Ousmane Dembélé, resting Sergio Busquets as well whenever time possible. That's what we have to be seeing, and now it's time to see the result of those decisions. I really want to see, because if we've been doing this before, if we have been bearing with this kind of form, this type of performances, that has to give something, and tomorrow is when they have to give. Surprisingly enough, this is the second time that Barcelona has drawn against Olympique de Lyon, last time being in 2009. We've drawn one more time in 2007, but that was in the second leg already, so I believe that we just only need to count that competition, the knockout tie that we had in 2009 against them. In that competition, we draw 1-1 at their stadium, and then coming back to the Camp Nou, we won 5-2, and that's a performance I really wanted to copy Barcelona if they can. I want to see a big performance like that. A 5-2 victory would be very good for us, and even though 2 away goals from Lyon may come, or a goal may come in Lyon here, I believe that Barcelona has more than enough and has shown resilience by going back basically throughout the entire season. First, you know, the first 30 minutes, we are sure that the other team are going to concede a goal in this season. And Barcelona has always showed that attitude, has always showed that resilience and that commitment to getting back into the scoreboard. So I believe that in that sense, we already have a very good backup, because our players know what it means to keep that performances, to keep that aggression, to keep that motivation throughout the entirety of 90 minutes. So I want to see that today as well. In the case with Olympique de Lyon, there's one very important thing to mention, and that is that in the last 2 weeks, they've had one more game. The last game, they drew 2-2 against Strasbourg, or Strasburgo, which is way easier to say in Spanish. And the one thing that we have to talk about this one is that they rotated, as well as Moussa Dembélé having bagging 2 goals, which is good. And before that, he also bagged 2 more goals in the 5-1 victory over Toulouse. So there's a player which is actually in form, and somebody like Lenglet Umtiti, with his ability to pivot really fast, should be able to match him. Someone like Piqué is not the best at doing that, so that's where I believe the other defender would come in, kind of like a sweeper, trying to get in front of the player before the ball even reaches him, because Dembélé, with few touches, he did very much against Barcelona last time around. Moreover, we have to acknowledge the inclusion of Nabil Fekir back from suspension. He's going to be an amazing change for them. And I'm saying it like that because if I was a Lyon fan, I would really be excited. By the way, did you know that 5,000 Lyon fans are traveling away to the Camp Nou? That's insane. That's like crazy numbers, so good for them. But in case of Nabil Fekir, we have to be very wary of what we do with him. We're not going to have the luxury of having a person man mark him like someone like Arturo Vidal, someone which is going to just keep focus on that player. We're gonna most likely start Arthur, Rakitic and Busquets to really benefit our play. And if we're gonna do that, then we're gonna have to have a very good collective unit when it comes to controlling this player. And that is something that we just have to be very aware off, because if something's gonna give from Lyon, it's gonna come down to Nael Fekir, and then he's gonna distribute the ball to people like Memphis Depay, like Moussa Dembélé, or like Bertrand Traoré. But also, they have more players that are gonna be able to do that. One of them being Tanguy Ndombele. Tanguy Ndombele, a very good progressive over the ball. I think the other day I read like top 5 progressions in football with people like Arthur, people like Jorginho at Chelsea as well. So a very good player that can bring the ball from the lines, in the defense line, and bring it all the way to the forward line. He's going to be someone very crucial as well for them. But for me, the key for Genesio is going to be what he's going to do, because he has the possibility of either starting Hassam Aourar or Lucas Toussaint. If he wants to go with a little more defensive, he's going to go with Toussaint, and the other one with Aourar. If I was Genesio, I will most likely incline to go with Aourar, because I believe with the players you have in your team, you can go and pressure really Barcelona up high. And when you do that, someone like Aourar is going to be very good to break down the lines of Barcelona. So I would do that if I was Genesio, and then return to Lucas Toussaint. If we manage to score 2 goals, 1 or 2 goals, I will go with Toussaint then. But I'm not a Lyon fan. You have to tell me down below, what do you think? That is my game plan for you. But for Barcelona, well, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about the lineups. My potential 11 for Barcelona is going to be, I believe, very simple. I believe this is a lineup that can help us reach very far into this competition. I'm going to go with Marc-André Ter Stegen in the goalkeeper position. For the right, Nelson Semedo, because once again, the pace that he brings, and most importantly of all, his 2 last performances has been absolutely superb. Getting the penalty in Rayo Vallecano and constantly just making Jordi Amat crazy. I believe he has to play this game. The center backs, I'm going to go with Gerard Piqué and Clement Lenglet. Unfortunately, I know that Samuel Umtiti has been back from injury, but Lenglet, still his level is way too good for us to replace him just because, what, Umtiti is back. No, Lenglet has to play. He has been consistently the better defender throughout this season. Then for the left, Jordi Alba. In the middle of the park, I'm going to go with Sergio Busquets, Ivan Rakitic, and Arthur Melo. And then up top, there's a question. I'm going to go with Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, and if Ousmane Dembélé is still injured and will not be able to start the full 90 minutes, I'm going to go with Malcolm. Although there's one thing that we need to talk about, because apparently Marca, Sporting, all of those, your typical newspapers in Spain, are talking about the possibility of Valverde giving one final chance to Coutinho, which I'm all in for it, This is a game where I'm going to go to Coutinho and say, criticize him depending on his football, whatever. But I'm just going to criticize him on one thing. I think that he needs to go with the best attitude. If I was Coutinho, I would look myself in the mirror, really try to boost my motivation, because this is a game that can make or break his, decision to Barcelona. Not because of, we're not going to give him time, because he's certainly going to have more chances. But the thing is that fans, not me, but fans in the Camp Nou or around the world, whatever, we are not the most, lenient when it comes to players like this. So I believe that Coutinho has to do that, has to prove himself not only for the fans, but just for constantly having performances back again at Barcelona. And you need the fans to do that. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Coutinho, you can do this. If you play in the left wing position, you can do this. You have to be very smart of how you do, because your quality is there. And perhaps your role shouldn't be just be the normal Coutinho. Try something else. Go for overlapping the defenders. Your acceleration is very, very good. Try to compete against people like Ferland Mendy. The other guy, what's his name? Dubois. Try to do that. He's not the fastest of fullback, so I believe that's where you can get at him. Coutinho, if you start this game, I know you're going to do very good. But one more thing, you have to trust on yourself. And I'm not talking too much about Coutinho in all of those other footballistic senses, because I already talked about him in another video, so if you want to go there, check it out. But yes, Malcolm is the most easier pick of both of them, but I don't know if Valverde is going to have the balls to do it, so that's why I'm giving you Coutinho possibility as well. Malcolm clearly has the advantage in pace, in technical ability to match up what Dembélé does. So that is my pick for now, but Coutinho could also start this one. Be very, very wary. And I want to know your decision down below. Who were you going to start, Malcolm or Coutinho? In the case with Olympique de Lyon, they still have some other things to question, similar to the Ousmane Dembélé situation. They got Marcelo Guedes, who they have to see if he's fit enough to play this game. But I'm going to say my predictions for them as well. I'm going to go with Anthony Lopez in the goalkeeper position. For the right, I'm going to go with Dubois. Then the 2 center backs for me are going to be Jason Denayer and Marcelo. If Marcelo doesn't come fit, probably someone like Morel will start. For the left, I'm going to go with Ferland Mendy. And then I'm going to go with a midfield of Hassam Aourar, Tanguy Ndombele, Dembele and Nabil Fekir, and then up top I'm going to go with Memphis Depay and Bertrand Traoré and Moussa Dembélé. This could be a 4-3-3 or also a 4-2-3-1. It's up really to Genesio what he wants to do in attack and defense. I already said my decisions. I'm going to go with Aurora from the start, and then I would go with Toussaint. And before giving my prediction, guys, there are two more things that I want to mention. The very first one is that this game can also be won by the substitutions. Genesio and the sub bench, they have very, very good players. They got Martin Terrier, they got Maxwell Cornet, players that can really change Lyon and give them one last gear if they are in trouble. Barcelona are going to have that as well in Ousmane Dembélé on the bench, and that is something that we also must take into account. So from the bench, something might give. And the other thing is that Lyon are going to play with motivation. We saw in the game against Ajax and Real Madrid how that motivation, that boost, that energy can really push you a little bit longer. That can make you run a little bit faster. That is a thing that Lyon are going to play with here, because no disrespect to Lyon, but when you have teams that are a little bit lower in quality or a level behind, that's what makes an even playing field. That's what Lyon are going to play at, and we must be very careful of that. Barcelona must learn from what happened to Real Madrid. Barcelona must learn what happened to PSG and never lose their cool. My prediction, Barcelona to win this game, 3-1. So that's going to be everything for today, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Leave me your predictions and everything in the comment box down below, as well as follow me on all our social media to keep up to date with me and what happens around in this channel. And I'll see you in the match reaction, in the post-match reaction from the Barcelona versus Olympique de Lyon game. Hopefully we're going to have a lot to talk about, and hopefully it's positive. See you in the next one. Take care, and vamos Barça. Ciao.